Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Dirt Therapy. I'm RC. This week we're going to go in the Wayback Machine to a couple years ago when we produced a video on Enterprise, Iowa, a coal town around the 1900s that we were able to hunt. We pulled a lot of really cool stuff out and learned a lot of history about the location, so let's take a look.
The land that is fairer than day, and by faith we can see the fall. For the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling.
These faces represent the struggle for the American dream at the turn of the last century. They endured 12 weeks on the Atlantic with their families and all their possessions for a chance to better their lives. Arrival on our eastern shores only guaranteed one thing for these families: adversity. With the clothes on their backs and little money in their pockets, it would take an additional 3 months for their journey to end here, the bustling coal town of Enterprise, Iowa, 1903. Close to a century has passed since that thriving coal town simply disappeared and was transformed back into fertile farmland to feed the world. If it wasn't for a chance encounter with a lovely farmer's widow approaching 90 years old, we may never have discovered Enterprise. Sitting on her front porch that summer afternoon, we were certain she didn't remember our names, but she vividly described this coal town Enterprise that was one of the rowdiest places she remembers as a little girl. With nothing but a name, Lynn set out on what would become a 2-year journey of discovery for us. With our XP Deus metal detectors, we have erased 100 years of lost time. We are bringing Enterprise back to life. Once again, strolling down Flannery Avenue, exploring the homes of close to 3,000 immigrants, and finding the artifacts they left behind.
Hey, good morning, group. Lynn here, XP Team USA. I'm in the field. I just got an 85. Just rolled this over, and it looks like maybe some type of medallion or something. It looks like it's got, I don't know what it is. TAA? No, I don't think so. There's some more writing on the back. So I don't know, some type of tag maybe?
We brought in State of Iowa curator Leo Landis to help us understand Enterprise.
There are mines in the 1860s and the 1870s, but it's in the 1880s where, with railroads coming in and heating stoves, those are the two main uses of Iowa coal, and it's often local where coal mining really takes off. Coal mining was a way to work your way up the economic ladder in the United States, and especially in Iowa. So if you were a miner coming to Monroe County or Marion County in the 1890s, you hoped you were going to better your life. That was your entry level into American society. You were often an immigrant, African Americans coming up from the South who wanted to live in a more equal society. So those were the people who were coming up to the coal mines and hoping to better their lives in Iowa.
Hey group, Lynn back again. I am finding relic. Just about back to the end of my row here. Look at this. Hit like a 91. I'm still in 13 kilohertz. I think that is a clock. Maybe not. I thought it might have been a clock winder. Maybe it's not. I don't know for sure, but it sure is nice looking, whatever it is.
One important way the mining families were able to better their lives was by sending their children to school.
Enterprise had a school. photographs that are in the State Historical Society's collection show a very diverse group of children attending that school. The schools then represent the population of Enterprise, so it's likely most children went to school rather than doing any work in Enterprise.
When not in school, one thing's for certain: the children loved playing with marbles. The farm field where Enterprise once stood is littered with ceramic, handmade Bennington marbles.
What's up, everybody, here at Enterprise? Got Lynn to grab the camera. Check out the surface find. Old Bennington marble. You can see where the posts went through it when they put it on the lathe to get the roundness before they would put it in the kiln. This is how marbles were made before glass. This is like pottery ceramic. So pretty cool, just sitting right here along the corn stalks.
The children may spend their days above ground, but in Enterprise, the men worked long hours deep below the earth. We have found countless horse and mule tack, hammerheads, and pneumatic picks. One unique find was an axe head designed to harvest blocks of ice in the winter.
All right, group. Boy, it's been about 300 yards since I've even had a good signal. This one came in really strong at 88. It looks like it definitely looks copper. I can't tell what that is. Oh, I think I see it. Army. I bet you this is a horse rosette. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. We'll clean it up when we get home, but it's pretty big. It's about the size of a silver dollar, so I'm thinking it might have been on a horse. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, we'll catch you later.
The types of mines that we had in Iowa were typically deep mines. The shafts ran several hundred feet deep. The style of mine was largely called a room and pillar mine, and a room would be a section where you were actually operating and mining the material, mining the coal, and a room was about 30 feet wide, so that was the room, and the pillars were what supported the mine from caving in. The men would take an elevator down, mules are used to haul the coal, and then probably a steam locomotive perhaps. I think there was a small steam locomotive from what the records indicate that would also help move the coal on the property.
Lynn here out the cornfield again. I'm a little nuts, mid-30s. Frost in the ground some spots, but this is what it looks like when you turn over frost. It's just big chunks of stuff. But then over here on the raised part by the stalks, it's like sawdust, so it's really easy to get into some targets that way. But I just hit one of my better targets here, 85, and I had to break that up. I could have damaged this very easily with my hand digger when I was trying to break that frost piece apart, but it definitely looks like something that went on a necklace, or maybe a bracelet, like a key charm. I can't tell what that is. I don't know if that's a dog or what, but definitely brass, I think, or old. Maybe it's just copper or something. Maybe it was plated, but nice little piece.
It goes without saying that mine safety in 1903 doesn't meet the minimum standards of mining today. Newspaper articles do list fatalities at Enterprise. However, the Miners' Union had a strong presence there.
Miners across the state of Iowa were represented by the United Mine Workers, the National Mine Union. Beginning in 1898, that was when the United Mine Workers would negotiate with the Iowa Coal Operators Association. That was the business side of it, the owners. And so there'd either be an annual contract setting what rental rates might be. There might be other criteria on, how payment might be handled at the company store.
All right, so got an 82 right here. We've been pulling a lot of Indian head pennies. Good repeatable tone right at 80, 81. So let's see what we got. Ground is hard. All right, so it's in the plug here. Ah, cool. Old key. Oh, and it still bends. Look at that. Real tiny skeleton key. Rang up 8081 on our sifter program. This is the kind of relics we're finding. I mean, we're finding silver, we're finding all kinds of stuff, but you know, this was a town of 700, so you know, you're gonna find relics like this out here. Pretty neat.
On our next episode, we'll follow the home life of one Italian family at Enterprise. We'll dive deep into some of our unusual finds that provide us with a glimpse of what life was like in Iowa at the turn of the last century.
Will you love me in December as you do in May?
In our previous episode, we focused our story on the dangers and difficult life of an Enterprise miner. In this episode, we switched gears to the domestic side. Remember, the town continued long after the coal disappeared. Approximately 700 row houses stood in Enterprise. According to newspaper articles, rent was $1.50 a week. In hindsight, our two biggest silver finds would have paid that rent in 1903.
I just turned this over. It was about a foot away. It hit a 98, not too deep. I have not looked at it yet, but I know it's big silver. So we're going to look at it together. Probably the biggest one I've ever gotten. So, wow, this is, I couldn't get RC over here. I tried to call him, but he didn't answer his phone. I don't see him. I think it's a silver dollar.
I'm shaking. I've never found one of these before. Let me show you. 1897 Barber half.
Morgan dollars and barber halves aren't the only currency we found at Enterprise. We've discovered dozens of Indian head pennies, Shield, V, and Buffalo nickels, Barber and Mercury dimes, and even an elusive Standing Liberty quarter in fantastic condition.
This was a solid 95. Not too deep, 3 inches. I flipped it over, still a 95, just banging. I can see an edge on it right here. Have not looked yet. But this place goes back to the late 1800s. The mine closed down in 1917. So I'm thinking it's a quarter. And it looks like, there you go, Standing Liberty. It's probably been out here during the farming for 70 some years, tumbled and rolled. But I can't see a date. In the sun, maybe you can see it. See how bad the back is. Yep, SLQ, buddy. I'm excited. First one out here. Usually barbers. So it's good to see something like this. And it looks like it's in pretty darn good shape.
Without question, the number one thing we found at Enterprise has been early trade tokens. Coupons of their day, these tokens were essential for getting the most bang for your buck, so to speak.
A lot of times merchants would, instead of issuing or relying on money, would issue their own little discount currency that then encouraged you to come back to their store. And so store tokens were pretty common in the late 1800s, early 1900s into the 1920s and 1930s. It was a way for merchants to encourage trading specifically with them and remind you of their name, especially if you're a new person who doesn't understand English, but you know that's, and there were Croatians, people from Croatia, people from Austria who were living in the Enterprise area. So it was a way for you to recognize who the person was that you were trading with, and you had that coin with their name on it.
One particular token that seems to find its way into our pouch more than any other is the Peter Carzoli token. We asked Leo Landis just who was Peter Carzoli.
Peter Carzoli was a figure who came to the United States in 1908, so he's one of those Italian immigrants. He shows up then in the Polk County federal census done by the United States government, and he's in 1910 in Douglas Township of Polk County, so in the Enterprise area. He's listed as a minor, he's married and has one child. And then in the 1915 Iowa census, he's listed in Ankeny specifically, and he's now a storekeeper. So the tokens that may be found in that Enterprise area are probably from about 1911 to, I would guess, 1917 or so, but we know by 1915 he's a storekeeper. He's somebody who can go between the community of being, you know, a immigrant himself, but also having learned English, and a storekeeper. So he likely, for a large part of the Enterprise community, was a reliable and trusted merchant.
In addition to coins and tokens, we've uncovered relics of everyday life, household items, and even this magnificent pair of glasses.
But I just saw the neck of this sticking up underneath one of the rows of tilled corn. And that's maybe my third bottle that might be intact. I don't know, it's hard to say. Anyway, I hit this 94 right here. I just turned it over just on top of this tilled piece of row. I don't know what the hell this is. It's really muddy though now. It looks like it's a case or something. It hit a 94 on the dais.
Most of the families at Enterprise travel from the East Coast, so finding watch fobs from Jamestown, Virginia, and good luck charms have helped us unlock the story of this town. We know of at least one company store. We believe we found the general location for the store as a result of finding hundreds of lead seals in a small area. Lead seals were kind of the UPC barcode of their day. Not only did they seal the burlap and packaging holding the bulk goods, but they were also stamped with the manufacturer's information. To this day, they are a niche collectible to some. Storekeepers would fill large barrels with grain and flour and discard the lead seals. They constantly register in the high 80s on our VDI, so they always present a diggable target.
Windy day here at Enterprise, well, I'm getting a really nice high tone, 87, 88. We're over at the entrance, so a lot of gravel. Lead seal. These things put such a really nice tone out. You always think you got something super good, but you know, like I said, these are collectible. I don't see any stamping on this one, but anyway, lead seal Enterprise.
Enterprise will continue to produce amazing finds for years to come. We've invited a few friends to join us on our hunts this past year.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's RC, Lynn, and we got a special guest here, Chris Moen, all the way up from Ames, Iowa. The Cyclones are on a bye this week, so he thought he'd come down, hang out with the XP team, do some hunting over here at Enterprise at the coal mine. And he's already had some luck. He's found a V-nickel and some other stuff, but it's windy, it's cold, so we probably won't show you the finds as it happens, but we'll come back and recap after we hunt. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Here's Chris, first time using the ORX. We're out in the field. What kind of signal you got there, mister?
I don't know.
What's the VDI number?
86.
Let's dig it.
It is where, what the heck is that?
You sure? Let's see. Let me see. Hold it steady. Whoa, what the hell is that? Hold it right there.
We've even hosted the Minnesota Beach Boys on a couple hunts at Enterprise.
Okay, what?
Here, Lenny. Surface find. What is that?
What the hell? Oh my goodness, it looks like a watch fob. Oh my god!
Oh!
That is beautiful.
Awesome, boy.
You know what that is? RC Dunn and myself found that. That is Elk's Lodge.
No kidding. Oh, it has an elk on it.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Awesome. On the surface, look at that.
Solid brass. Hey, what do you think of that ORX?
I love it.
Why do you love it?
Because Lenny says I can take it home tonight.
All right.
So, it's so smooth.
Hey, let me get a close-up of that again. Guys, that is beautiful. Old.
This is my third watch fob I've ever found.
Every detectorist has that one honey hole that always produces finds. For us, Enterprise is that place. Even when I drive by, it still puts a smile on my face. That unassuming farm field just east of a large suburb that, for a few hours, takes us out of the hustle and bustle and back to an era where $20 in your pocket was considered wealth.